Hi friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. In today's video, I just wanted to kind of sit and chat about some eyeshadow palettes that stood out to me this year, but I didn't end up buying for whatever reason. I love doing this kind of video. I usually do it twice a year. I usually do it at the halfway point and then again at the end, and it's just kind of fun to see just like what stood out to me, maybe some things that I think are cool and I'd like to talk about, but I just didn't acquire myself specifically. And obviously I love hearing your thoughts as well. Did you get any of these? Are you enjoying them? Stuff like that. I will say as a blanket statement, I'm probably not going to get any of these. This isn't a video to like get you to talk me into it or anything like that. I've obviously skipped on them for XYZ reason that I'll get into. At the end of the day, like I already have so much makeup and I test out so many eyeshadow palettes all the time for you guys. There just would not be enough time in the day if I had every single new palette. And that's okay. I'm not meant to have everything. We're all not meant to have everything. Sometimes things are just cool enough to admire from afar. Like I mentioned, I did do this video again already this year, so if you like this style of video, you can go check out the other one from over the summer where I talked about palettes that came out in the first half of the year. This will be more so focused on the second half, and just ones that definitely caught my eye, caught my attention, but I'll get into why I skipped them. Before we hop into it, I did of course film this look. It should already be on my Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts by the time this video goes up. And as far as my accessory details go, this is a necklace from Suki Blade and these earrings were a gift, so I'm not sure where they're from. Anyway, without further ado, let's just talk about these palettes. I usually just keep a never-ending folder on Instagram of saved images. And then when this time of year comes around, I just peek at it again and see what I was interested in. First is the Unearthly Cosmetics Shadow Sculpt Volume 1 Ghoul Garden palette. This was a mystery palette and I didn't initially buy it when it was a mystery just because I get kind of hesitant about mysteries because, I don't know, I don't want to risk having something that I already have that's too similar, or what if it's just not my taste at all? I get hesitant with mystery things. I know some people love it. I get very hesitant unless there's like without a shadow of a doubt that no matter what it's gonna be, I'm gonna like it. Like for example, I'll do the occasional like little figure blind box if I like all the options. Because knowing my luck, if I didn't like one singular option, that's going to be the one that I get, right? But then when they finally revealed it as the Ghoul Garden palette, I did end up just continuing to stay skipped on it. I was like, you know what? It's very pretty. It's very up my alley. I love swampy greens. I love those tones. But I was like, you love those tones because you have so many of those tones. It was definitely one that, would I probably have enjoyed it? Yes. Do I enjoy Unearthly? Yes. Do I love these colors? Yes. But I knew in my heart of hearts that I had these types of colors. I really didn't need any more. I think this also came out around a time when I was already super swamped with releases, so it ended up just being one that I was going to admire from afar. I did think hard about that one though, I really did. Next out from Adept Cosmetics, over the summer they came out with the EBE palette, and it's very pretty. Adept has beautiful shimmers. I feel like their stuff is always very striking, very pretty, but the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I feel like I mostly just love the shimmers. There is a really pretty like kind of grungy green matte and like a dusty purple matte, but then it's got two beiges. And as pretty as their shimmers are, their palettes are quite pricey, and I don't know, I just didn't know if I'd get enough use out of it. I felt like out of what I already own from Adept, not to say these are dupes or anything like that, but I just feel like I already have so many pretty shimmers from them. I didn't necessarily need to jump on a new palette where I wasn't sold on the whole thing. Next up is the NYX and Wednesday collab. They came out with this whole collab collection, but the palette specifically is what I'm mostly referring to here. And I was initially drawn because, you know, I love a spooky season launch. Spooky season's my favorite. I love Wednesday, but I ended up skipping on this one just because I did buy the NYX and Beetlejuice palette last year. And while it wasn't terrible, it was very mediocre. It was not anything special, not anything I felt excited about once I had it in my hands and started actually using it. So I was like, I have a feeling I'll probably have a similar experience. And really at the end of the day, it's kind of like a half neutral, half purpley-ish palette. There's only one purple, really. I think it was more the theming that was grabbing me rather than the actual product, because the more I thought about it, I was like, this is just not meant for me. And that's okay too. And obviously, if you picked up any of these palettes, don't take any of this as offense if I chose not to buy it as well. Like I said in the beginning, I have so much makeup. I'm constantly trying out new things, so I only have time for so much anyway. So sometimes I just have to, you know, use a little bit of thinking and talk myself out of things. Plus, I also just simply don't want to spend all of my money on new makeup. I have other priorities I like to allocate my money toward. I like to travel. I like to spoil my cats. I just simply don't want to buy all of the makeup either. So again, sometimes it's just fun to simply just admire the thing from afar. Next up is another Unearthly Cosmetics release, and I really considered this one. This is the Gothic Romance, and it's really pretty. Very lovely muted tones. I like the combination of the fact that it's colorful, but it's all very muted, dingy colorful. It looks really pretty, very muted, desaturated tones, very much up my alley. I love this sort of a vibe. But again, it was one of those things where I was like, I definitely have these colors in my collection. Not to say I have this exact palette duped by another palette, but I definitely have these kinds of tones sprinkled throughout my collection because I very much enjoy them. I love these very muted, desaturated, grungy vibes. So I was just like, you know what? I think I can go without this one as well. This was also a time where I feel like a lot of launches were starting to ramp up because we were like, I mean, it was still very much summer, but it was entering spooky season for a lot of brands. So a lot of things were ramping up. There was just a lot going on. So I ended up passing on that one. This one, I'll be honest, I only thought about for like 2 seconds, but this is the Glam Light and Jigsaw I Want to Play a Game Saw themed palette. I was tempted for a moment just because I think the Saw franchise is dumb and addicting at the same time. It's very over the top and kind of stupid, but I will watch every single movie. That's just kind of how I feel about them. And I do like the colors that are in here. There's kind of like good reds. I like that blood splattery looking shimmer in the middle. There's some cool things going on, but Glam Light's just way too hit or miss for me. I feel like I've had some palettes that I love, like my Breaking Dawn, Team Edward, and Team Jacob palettes, but I've also tried a few palettes from them that are just kind of mediocre and lackluster to me. So I feel like unless it's a theme that really means a lot to me, I'm most likely gonna err on the side of skipping it just because I feel like they're just too inconsistent for me personally. Next up, Give Me Glow released the Down to Earth palette. This was just about a little over a month ago, and it's so pretty. It is all like grungy, earthy, yummy tones, those different like khaki greens and sages and the warm rusty browns. It's so pretty. But I ended up passing on it for 2 reasons. One, I definitely have yummy earthy palettes like the Cosmic Beauty Nude Trolls. Even the Glam Light Team Jacob palette is kind of similar tones to this. I have some things in my collection with these vibes. And then it's also a very large palette. 24 pans is a bit larger than I tend to go for. Not to say I write that off completely, because there are some palettes in my collection that are that size and I greatly enjoy them, but because these are colors I definitely have in my collection time and time again, I didn't really need to add another one, especially a mega one at that. This one caught my eye. This is the Glisten Cosmetics Bliss palette. It's very colorful. It's very punchy. There's really beautiful shimmers. Honestly, the shimmers kind of stand out to me more than the mattes. They're kind of just like pretty standard pastels, if I'm being honest. They don't look like anything that revolutionary. I have pastels in my collection that I really enjoy. Not to say the quality's not good on these, because I just don't know. They look good from swatches I've seen, but the shimmers are definitely what caught my eye the most. But ultimately, I just kind of decided like, I just didn't need it. I didn't really feel like gambling with a new eyeshadow formula at the time. Again, been very swamped with releases lately. This one only launched maybe about a month ago. And as beautiful as the shimmers are, I have beautiful shimmers in my collection. I don't have a lacking of them. And the palette as a whole wasn't screaming to me. It was mostly just the shimmers. And I feel like if only a portion of a palette is screaming to you, you probably don't need the whole thing. Honestly, that's just my advice to you in general. If you're ever looking at a palette and trying to make a decision, if you have thoughts of, well, I already have a lot of similar tones, or I only like some of these shades, or is this similar to this palette that I have? If you're having those thoughts, the answer is probably you don't need it. Like, even if something's not an exact dupe between two palettes, if you think they're similar enough, that probably answers your question. But that's just my personal opinion. I have people ask me all the time, like, how similar is this to this? Do I need it? One, I will never tell you that you need something because I don't know your financial status. I don't know what you have in your collection. I don't know what your preferences are. I will never tell you that you need something. And also, again, like, if you just already think that you have something similar, that probably answers the question for you. Moving on, Deini Beauty. They caught my attention earlier this year, and I feel like they're still living in my head. I feel like every time they launch something, I'm very much intrigued. I just haven't jumped on it yet. This is the Siempre Viva palette, and it is so pretty. very lovely, like purple pink. We have kind of muted, almost like cornflower blue periwinkle. I love those dark berry purple tones. That pop of yellow is so good in there. A yellow purple, so beautiful, such a good contrast. I think this looks really, really pretty. Really, really pretty. The shimmers look gorgeous. I feel like anytime I've seen someone play with this brand, I feel just, I don't know, wowed. I think people are making really good looks and the quality looks really nice. I just haven't jumped on it yet. Again, this was another one. I think this launched back in like September. So this was like right at the height of like my collab stuff happening. There were a million spooky season launches happening. I think I was also pre-filming to go out of town. There was just too many things happening that I was like, this just is not the right time. I do want to try this brand at some point one day. It just needs to be the right place, right time, right palette. These next two palettes are both from the brand Noiricorn. They've popped up on my feed here and there over time, and I've been very tempted because the aesthetics of the palette look really nice. So this first one is a collaboration with Ghoul in Japan, who I've seen pop up on my feed multiple times. Very cool creator, very cool aesthetics, very into it. And this palette is gorgeous. I love the combination of these weird, like, yellowy chartreusey tones, that bright, brilliant metallic red, the dark gothy tones. It's all beautiful. So, so beautiful. And then this next one was in collaboration with Freya86 over on Instagram as well. Again, it's so grungy. It's so yummy, gothy. I love these like muted purples with the dingy greens and those like mauve tones. It is so pretty. I think the aesthetics of both of these palettes are so, so good. I haven't jumped on it yet. Again, sometimes I just feel a little hesitant trying a new brand just because like I already just know what I like and I have so much stuff, and I don't know, I only have so much time in the day to play with so many things. So acquiring even more things doesn't always fit into my life. But these are palettes that stood out to me. It's definitely a brand that's on my radar. I would love to hear your thoughts if you've tried this brand, if you think the quality is good. I don't really know much about them other than they've popped on my feed here and there. So beyond that, I really don't know much. And last but not least, this is the Mob Beauty and Courtney Quarantine collab. They came out with this little quad of like just delicious, yummy, grungified, just beautiful tones, beautiful tones. I believe this is called the Reverie Quad, and it is so, so, so pretty. My main hesitation with this one is one, I'm just not a quad girl. I don't reach for quads very often. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this is a mixture of like creams and mattes, and cream eyeshadow is also just like not something I'm really gravitating towards. So even though I'm so happy for Courtney, I think she's so cool and I think this concept is so cool, I just don't think this one was perfect for me. So I ended up deciding to pass on that one too. And yeah, that's just kind of a rundown of some recent things that stood out to me, maybe why I skipped on them, but I would love to hear your thoughts. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you just leave, I don't even know, leave a very random emoji. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me over on Instagram and TikTok. I'm battybean over there. And you can also subscribe if you want to see more videos. You're also welcome to hop over to my second channel linked in my description box if you want additional content. And also in my description box is a link to my channel memberships. There's a couple different tiers with a couple different perks, and I would love to have you. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep watching, I'll pop a similar one on the screen. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you in the next one.